Hey guys, Skylar here with a somewhat new setup. I have a ring light finally around the camera, so I don't know if this is going to be a proper exposure, but we're going to work with it. So I'm in the mood for peanut butter cookies. I did film this originally, and I'm pretty sure I did not post it because it's terrible, and it was also in my old apartment. So now I have a proper setup. Let's actually make some peanut butter cookies. So I am doing a smaller batch than the full recipe because full recipe is like 4 dozen cookies and I don't need that many. So we're gonna start with a half, which means we're gonna use a half cup of butter, and we're gonna use a half cup of brown sugar and a half cup of granulated sugar. And then once those are beaten until nice and fluffy, we'll throw in a half cup of peanut butter as well. So let's get these going here. Boom, boom, boom. Now you do want to beat your sugars and butter first, so they get nice and fluffy. The peanut butter will actually weigh it down, so you kind of don't want to do that. Let's go. Alright, this is pretty fluffed up for what's going to happen, to be honest. Alright, let's get, yeah, it's also nice and pale like it's supposed to be. Alright, so I'm going to just scrape down my sides, so actually incorporate everything. And we're going to throw in our peanut butter. So this is a half cup of peanut butter. You can add a little bit more, like I probably have like more of a 2/3 cup of peanut butter here. Just because, well, A, I love peanut butter and I really want to taste it. But just be careful not to add too much, because you don't want your ratios to be so far off that it just crumbles or it's too liquidy or something. Because that would be bad, and we don't want that. I'm gonna put that behind me for right now. Alright, so this you're just kind of beating until it's nice and combined. Alright, that's beaten in there. And again, I'm just gonna scrape this down. This smells amazing, because all you're smelling is just peanut butter at this point. Alright, scrape, scrape. Stuff gets combined later. Alright, now we're going to add in a half teaspoon of vanilla. 2. And we're going to add in 1 egg. Make sure all your stuff is room temp, so my butter is room temp, my egg is also room temp. So that way things actually beat in the way they're supposed to. And let's get back at it. And you're just mixing until it's combined, essentially. Alright, that's looking pretty good. So again, scrape, scrape, scrape. We don't want anything to not be combined here. Trust myself to scrape. I'm gonna take a chance here. Alright. Oh, this smells so good, because now you got vanilla and peanut butter in here. So just make sure you're scraping the bottom of the bowl, because there's always stuff that gets missed. By using a hand mixer, stand mixer, you're impaired like I am, you can't get the bowl back on, things get missed. If you're doing this by hand, you're not likely to have anything missed, but you're probably going to be jacked. Alright, so I'm going to let that sit for a second. So over here, I got a 1 1/3 cups of flour, and to that we're going to add in half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of baking powder and baking soda, and half a teaspoon of cornstarch. The cornstarch in this case helps keep it chewy. It adds a bit of some stabilizing in there. And I did sift my flour already. So we're just gonna give that a quick whisk, make sure everything's kind of combined in there, nice and combined. I don't know how else to say that. Alright. And in my case, I am going to add this all in. It makes a little bit by hand and get it on the counter, because I am multi-talented. Alright. My counter is clean, so I'm gonna be naughty and do that, because I'm not wasting that. I literally wiped this whole counter down before I started the video, so don't worry. Now by hand, I'm just gonna mix this a little bit to kind of get it started, because this is a lot of dry ingredient, and it will go flying everywhere. Or if you not like me and you don't lose the porta shield that comes with the KitchenAid, you can slap that on, or put like a kitchen towel over it. That will help reduce it. But if I do this by hand, you know, less things to wash. I don't feel like having to wash this or the shield right afterwards, so I'll just do this. And you're just mixing until combined, because you don't want to overwork the dough. That's really, really easy to do with a stand mixer. That's literally it. Because you kind of just want it to come together. Okay, there we go. Alright, so I'm going to finish this part off by hand. Plop you down. Push you around. Yes, look at my stand mixer, it's so pretty. Alright, so I'm going to clean off my beater blade here. Because I want all this deliciousness in the bowl. Although I'm terrible at cleaning this off efficiently, so you get me doing this. Alright. Boom. Yeah, that's pretty good. Alright. So let me go one more big scrape down. Make sure nothing's left, which there isn't, so we're good. It's awesome. New little good taste. Yep, that's good. Alright, now we're gonna have some fun here. Ooh, that's a big scrape. Alright, so I like to roll my peanut butter cookies in sugar, just because it adds a little bit of crunch. And yes, I'm gonna do the lovely fork thing. Now the one thing that you by no means need to do is use a giant pan like I'm doing. So I do have a giant cookie sheet. I would use a smaller one, but my little silicone mat does not fit on any of my smaller baking sheets. So we're using this giant one that I paid like $10 for. And it'll work just fine. You can use parchment paper, you can do it around the tray. It really doesn't matter, whatever works best for you. I just prefer to do it on the mat. Alright, so all you're really doing is just take a small glob. In my case, I'm literally doing this. Get a spoon. I'm gonna take my rings off because I don't want them getting everywhere. Just got a little pocket that no one knows to use in your jeans. Paisley. By about a tablespoon, plop it, roll it, plop it down. My sheet, in theory, I should be able to fit 20 cookies on here. So we're gonna give that a try. I don't know if that will work, because these cookies like to spread. So I'm gonna give it a try and say, who knows? Or it might just like skip some of them maybe. I don't know, I'll figure it out. You know what? No, I'll put 20 on here, just so you guys can see if that works or not. Because I want to show you that they do get pretty big. That's my only concern. They get pretty big. You know what? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do a 4x4. So I'm going to do 16 on here. I'm just going to offset them on the mat a little bit. So I'm too worried that these will spread too much because they have both baking powder and baking soda. So they're going to spread a little bit. And the cookie is usually a little bigger than that. So I'm going to offset it just a little to keep myself safe. So cue the B-roll of me doing this. Alright guys, so we're back. The one thing I didn't film was me using the knife, the fork, but that's, I think most of you can figure out, you know, you just, I just dip it in sugar afterwards because you got a bit of that moisture coming off from the dough. So it's kind of nice just to have the sugar coat the fork. Sometimes there's not a lot of moisture, so it's not really going to always coat the fork with the sugar if you dip it back in. But I just do it because then some of the sugar kind of falls onto the cookie as well. So this is a preference thing. You by no means need to dip the fork. Alright, so I did end up making these a little bigger than I should have, so they're going to be pretty big cookies, but I mean, I don't know who's going to complain about slightly bigger cookies than usual. So I only have, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8. I want to get 10 cookies on here because I kind of spread them out because I'm a little worried they can get too spread out. So I know, giant sheet, 10 cookies, let's roll with it. So I'm going to slap these in the oven for, in my case, I'm probably going to do 10 to 12 minutes. If you do the size the recipe says, probably more like 8 to 10. But I'll be right back with some nice fresh cookies. Alright guys, we are back. I have my cookies out of the oven. I mean, they have literally just come out of the oven. Because I made them so big, they took about 14 minutes in my case. I still have some more in here that are probably going to take about the same amount of time. They're pretty much the same size. But yeah, you're kind of just looking for them to be golden brown around the edges and on the bottom. And they're going to puff a good bit, but they will sink down a bit just because of the heat releasing from them. And I would pick one up and eat it, but I kind of can't touch it because they're too hot. But I will say, I know they're delicious because A, I definitely made the recipe right, and 2, I've had these before. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this video with some B-roll of some lovely cookies, and I'll put the original recipe down below. That way you can actually check it out. It's from Give Me Some Oven. I didn't alter anything in the recipe, so you can literally just follow it. If you actually do the proper cookie size, they'll bake a little quicker probably. I just like big cookies, because I got 16 out of making giant ones. That's like basically a giant heaping tablespoon per cookie. But yeah, so I will let you guys go. Enjoy the lovely cookie montage, and see you next time. Bye!